Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk fast. Gotta talk faster, faster, faster. Gotta talk fast.
Welcome to an oral review of Archie Comics Sonic the Hedgehog, reminding you that
Ticketmaster is a piece of shit. Piece of dog shit, motherfucker, goddamn cock-sucking, asshole-licking piece of shit. It's evil company, most incompetent company in America, and I'm including all the fucking military-industrial complex that we have. This is... Dude, okay, so moments before we started recording, right? I was gonna buy tickets. I did buy tickets to Masayoshi Takanaka, who is the famous surfboard ticket. I'm about to make some gore with the anger that I have here, but the surfboard guitarist. If you just look up surfboard guitar Japan, you're gonna see the guy. And me and six other friends, I should say, we pooled together. You know, the usual thing you do, where it's like, hey, whoever gets in, because tickets sell out extremely fast. Whoever gets into the ticket portal, buy 7 tickets. We did that yesterday. No one got in. Literally, I think I was the closest. I got in as soon as the timer on the Ticketmaster website count 0, and I was the closest. And before I could even finish, I was like, I speed ran that. The clicking was like 7 tickets, confirm, blah blah blah, general admission. I did pretty well. I still. By like going to the portal, going to the payment portal, it gave me an error saying tickets are no longer available. So we're talking like probably bots, scammers, or scalpers, or maybe just other people who were doing the same thing as us. But either way, it was bad. It was like, and my other friends were saying like, "Hey, I'm like 79,000th in queue." So this isn't happening. Today, literally before we began recording this episode, I saw that on a Ticketmaster email blast saying, "Hey, tickets are still available for this show that you wanted." I go in, I see the tickets are all available, knowing how fast tickets go. It's for the same show. Again, mind you, for the same show. I'm like, how did this happen? Oh, maybe they withheld, right? They baited me very well. Kudos to you, Ticketmaster. You did a very good job. I saw, oh, I can buy the tickets, right? Okay. Well, 7 tickets comes out to $500, $600, right? $600. I was like, okay, that makes sense because tickets were $63 or whatever, and that was a high amount. I know I'm going to get my money back because once I get 7 tickets and they pay me back, I'm going to get my money back, and it's going to be neutral because we're all cool like that. Well, I know I clicked 7 tickets, brought me to another screen, $600. Okay, good. Confirm. Brought me to another screen. Congratulations, you paid $600 for 2 tickets to see Masayoshi Takanaka at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago. And I start freaking out. I just lose. Like, reality just didn't compute with me in those split seconds. I was in the middle of calling one of my friends, going, and like triumphantly going, "Hey, I got it." I clicked, "Hey, call," and I'm happy. During the dial tone phase, I realized what had happened, that I only bought 2 tickets at $300 per ticket. And by the time they picked up, I'm already like yelling at the screen. And I did not give them context for a good, like solid 2 minutes, I think. And then I just proceed to blabbermouth my anger as I tried. Hey, here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker, right? You can't return your tickets. But you can do 2 things. You can either transfer the tickets to someone else. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I need my money back, right? You can also sell them. You can sell the tickets on Ticketmaster's own website. This is legalized, internal, Ticketmaster-approved scalping, right? And Ticketmaster makes money by all the processing fees, right? So chances are those $300 tickets that I bought is on the backs of someone else who was doing the exact same thing, only the price keeps going higher. So, and look, I don't have the money for it. So I need this transaction to happen. I need to be a scalper. Ticketmaster forced me to be a scalper through this transaction. So Ticketmaster, you are responsible for a lot of great evil, destroying the cultural fabric of America by way of your horrible business schemes. But this is something I was just not aware of at first. And, it's insidious. It's actually, on a personal level, really fucking evil. So remember, reminding you, Gotta Talk Fast listeners, to never trust Ticketmaster. And if you must go through them, take a moment to realize what's going on before you hit that button. And honestly, here's the thing. I don't even feel bad about it. Like, I feel bad about it, of course, because I'm down $600, but I don't even feel bad because it's like, no, you fucked me over, right? It's not even a situation where, oh, I should have read the fine print. It was only two. No, I clicked on 7, brought me out to $600 to another page. I don't know.
I'm Nick, and except for this intro, I wrote the script.
And I'm Dominic, and except for this intro that I completely improvised, Nick was just about ready to read a whole other thing I wrote. I haven't read any of today's script, so I'm cold reading this bitch like always. So yeah.
He's always very cold. I'm always like, get a blanket, dude. And he's like, nah, man, gotta make a fridge in here.
I'm as cool as ice. I am ice cap zone 24/7.
Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. Okay. What are we reading today? We are reading SonicQuest, The Death Egg Saga, Book 2, Poached, Part 1. Now, again, reminder, Book 2, Poached. There we go. This was released in, we think, October 30th, 1996. It was written by Mike Gallagher and penciled by Manny Galan. Here we go. The planet Mobius was like a paradise with the benevolent King Eggcorn as its ruler, until the coming of the evil Dr. Ivo Robotnik. He conquered the land and its people using his knowledge of technology and pollution. But many young, courageous citizens banded together as a brave group of freedom fighters. They struggled to overthrow the dictator and one day regain what was once theirs. Among them, the greatest of the freedom fighters and the way coolest dude on 2 feet, Sonic the Hedgehog. That is the same opening paragraph as the rest of this miniseries will do. But here's some new things. Recently, Sonic and his sidekick Tails have taken up a quest for power rings in an attempt to save the king. In their search, they inadvertently stumbled upon Robotnik's new weapon of destruction, the Death Egg. It is capable of roboticizing the entire planet in one fell swoop. King Eggcorn of Mobius was recently rescued from the Zone of Silence, but all is not well. The monarch's mind is muddled and his skin has begun to crystallize. All attempts to cure him have failed. The only glimmer of hope was the brief positive reaction to Sonic the Hedgehog's magic ring number 1 billion. Princess Sally desperately dispatched 2 squads of freedom fighters to recover as many rings as possible to treat the king's condition. The team of Sonic and Tails fared badly. Tails was scooped into a mysterious funnel tube that dropped from the sky, and Sonic was set upon by Condor Bot, a roboticized version of a former friend and flying freedom fighter. Meanwhile, in Snivelopolis, Snively is getting a massage and getting pampered by Robotnik's robots when he receives a call from Robotnik himself. Snively, this is your master, Ivo Robotnik, calling you from the Death Egg. At long last, my ultimate weapon of destruction is near completion. Once finished, I'll be able to roboticize the entire planet by remote control from above. And how is the rebuilding of my beloved Megalopolis proceeding? Just fine, Oval One. Excellent. I expect it to be in perfect putrid condition when I return. But enough about you. Let's get back to me, the Death Egg's debut. As you know, I recently had all the rings sucked out of the grotto near my city's border. Observe them being placed in a chainmail pattern within this ship's shell. This will render the Death Egg invulnerable to external attack. That leaves only one thing missing to bring the vessel to full power. A Chaos Emerald. But, my Lord of Lard, my instruments show your altitude is low, as if the Death Egg were carrying too much weight. Yes, I know. The inefficient SWAT bot who operated the funnel tube also ingested a ton of debris when he siphoned the grotto. Trees, rocks, and other garbage. Once I've ascertained that no more rings are in the bilge, that pile of trash will be jettisoned along with the offending SWAT bot. After I've dumped that excess baggage, the Death Egg will achieve its proper orbit, and I shall proceed to procure a Chaos Emerald. Then nothing can stop me." At that moment, in the excess baggage compartment, Tails decided to pull a Star Wars. He finds a discarded SWAT bot and jams himself into the machine, wearing it as a disguise. Tails climbs out of the garbage pile and sees another SWAT bot doing scans for magic rings, before dumping the rest of the garbage out of the Death Egg. Tails sneaks out of the room, closes the door behind him, and activates the garbage chute, killing the SWAT bot in the process. We cut outside of the Death Egg to see Sonic the Hedgehog being carried by Condor Bot. Sonic spin dashes out of the Condor Bot's grip. He does a figure 8 move, which gives Sonic the ability to hover. Sonic punches Condor Bot, but the Condor strikes back. Luckily for Sonic, at this very moment, Tails lets the trash out of the Death Egg. Debris falls on the Condor, knocking him out, and Sonic is able to jump from tree to tree all the way up and into the Death Egg. Back in Knothole, Sally asks her personal supercomputer, Nicole, if there's any cure for King Eggcorn's emerald problem. "Negative, Princess. Insufficient data to analyze the malady or recommend a cure. Skin crystallization now at 68% and accelerating." Rotor rushes in to give Sally a status update from the 2 teams she sent out. "Sally, I just heard from Antoine. He and Bunny got lost in the forest and on the way to the Lake of Rings. But she's taken the map away from him, and now they're back on track. However, Tails and Sonic's check-in report is long overdue. There's no response on either of their communicators, and I'm getting worried." Sally rushes into Rotor's arms and starts sobbing. A single tear rolls down the face of King Eggcorn. Back aboard the Death Egg, we see Robotnik piloting the Death Egg. "The rings are in place and trash is away. The final phase of Operation Operational begins. The taking of a Chaos Emerald. Yes! Full speed ahead. There it is on the horizon. The floating island." End of part 1.
How inefficient is this Death Egg if a little bit of debris is screwing up the orbit pattern that much of the Death Egg?
That's either insane amount of garbage, which it's not, because we can see how much they put out,
well,
right?
I don't know if it's an insane amount or not, because, like, they did suck up trees, right?
Whole trees.
So, like, it's not like it's nothing, but also...
But on the other end, though,
it's a spaceship. I feel like it can handle
not just a spaceship, right? A space station the size of, yes, a small moon, aka the Death Star. It should not be that much. I know space needs to be precise. Like, you'd be surprised how much space saving they need to do on those NASA missions. But still, the scale is off.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know if I'm being picky with this, like,
it is a little
complaint.
Picky. It is a little picky.
No, what I'm about to say.
Okay.
No, I stand firmly about the tree suckage. No, it's just the fact that they're in, like, a Death Star, and Tails decides to dress up as a stormtrooper. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be angry at that, because, like, it does make sense as a plan, right? But only because of, like, the exact scenario where Tails is in a garbage chute, like in Star Wars. And then he goes and steals a borderline stormtrooper-esque costume, and then he's sneaking around the Death Star, right? Like,
yeah, I
don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, it's very. The funny thing is that this isn't even Ken Penders. This is where, like, if it was Ken, it'd be like, all right, yeah, he's doing the thing. This is Mike. This is Mike Gallagher, who, to be fair, he could also very easily be also a massive Star Wars nerd and he could be all in with Ken on that line of thought.
Not to group too many people in the same. I feel like I'm being like, I can't think of the right term, so I'm just going to say comic book racist. But I feel like if you are making comics in the early 90s, you're a Star Wars fan, right?
I guess so, right? Yeah.
Or Star Trek, right? There's definitely that. You are a fan of sci-fi, to say the least.
Yeah, and it defaults to one of those two, usually.
Yeah.
But other than that, a lot of like explaining of what they're doing, which I understand needs to happen for comics, but like they're re-explaining things. So like Robotnik
I
calling
do find
Snively,
it annoying, like re-explaining in the middle of like a series, like part 1, part 2, part 3.
Not just not the opening like intro page. We're not talking about that. That's like a necessary, like, okay, we get that. We can dismiss that almost. Because for us, right? For the people who get the issues in the middle of a series, physically in the 90s, I get that. But when they're doing it in the scenes themselves, that's annoying. That's a little annoying.
And you know what? Again, I can never. So I went over to my brother's house the other night because I was like, I know I had some Archie Sonic comics from when I was a kid. And I was pretty confident I remembered which issues they were, scrolling through the website we use for comics, right? And I was like, I think it's this one, and I think it's that one. For reference, I think it's 142 and 145. And so I looked at them, and I'm pretty sure what happened was I read a single issue, and I'm like, what I'll say is what was happening in those issues were absolutely wild, and I was not following what was happening at all. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to read another one. And then I think 145 came out, and Shadow was on the cover. And I was like, I'll read this one. I'll check this one out. Shadow's my boy. And I read that one, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to keep on reading these. But what I'll say is... them re-explaining things was like, I guess I'm the exact person that they needed it for, right?
Yeah, in that exact moment, that's who they needed it for. I think this is just something we have to get used to, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's just a comics thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just, come on, it's a saga. It's like book 1, book 2, book 3, like... Yeah,
you would think that's the time to not do that.
Yeah, exactly. Where you can like actually really focus on not bite-sized stories, right? But like whole arcs. I do like Tails killing a SWAT bot. I thought I just think that's good.
Pretty sick how he did it.
I think Tails is low-key I want. Do you know about? I've never read it, but do you know about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story, the comic where it's like far flung in the future?
Is it like super dark?
Yeah. And the concept is all the turtles died except for one, and he's like super emo and like killing everyone. I don't want to spoil it, but that's what I want Tails to happen here. Like, I want all the freedom fighters to die, and I just want like Tails being this like commando-esque character. Like, he took the best parts of Sonic, he took the best parts of Jeffrey St. John, he took the best parts of Rotor, and he's got like Nicole in his back pocket, and he's just like wrecking house, like killing a bunch of people, like solo commando style. If I was making this comic, that's where this would go. Tails would be the main character eventually, and everything's just setting it up for Tails to be the main character.
That's honestly pretty sick. This sounds like the Army Men that sounds like the Army Men Sarge's War of that idea. Do you remember the Army Men series, the video game series?
I remember playing it on the N64. I know I played a whole campaign of one of them, but I couldn't tell you the story. The main thing I remember is it was slow, and the fog of war is maybe not the right word. The draw distance was very low.
Draw distance, yes. Yeah. This is the one of the third person shooters, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Army Men has a very long history of various different types of games. The RTS games are better.
They have RTS games?
Yeah, there's literally a game, one of their very last games. Also,
we
one
are
of the
talking
last
about
games.
the same thing, right? The like little green soldiers.
Yes, we are. So it came. There were multiple genres, multiple even sub-series. So it started off as an RTS game on PC, and it made sense. It was like a Command and Conquer type game, which is like, yeah, it's literally the little green army men. So yeah, of course it's going to be an RTS. Later
it's
on,
actually like the perfect analog. Like that's actually brilliant.
Yeah. And it started like this. I'm going to have like no chance to talk about this again, I think. I'm just going to assume that. So I'm just going to go ham into it. It started off with like the army men in their own world. So it's basically like just World War II / Cold War, but instead of regular soldiers, it's army men.
Is it, out of curiosity, is it like a child's imagination? Is it like events are like exaggerated?
We're going to get there.
Cool.
So it starts off in their own little world, and then eventually it goes to third-person shooters, which makes sense because that was the era of that, it's the 90s and early 2000s. So of course you got to have a shooter. And then it starts doing, I think Army Men 3D. It was basically just the 3D version of those top-down RTS games. Then they started a series called Sarge's Heroes. Mm-hmm. And it was Jim Cummings, the voice actor, playing effectively like 20 different characters all at once. It's literally just him talking to himself. He is like,
I never realized that.
Yeah, Jim Cummings plays Sarge. He is briefed by Colonel Grimm, who was also Sarge, or who is also Jim Cummings. And then his squad is just Jim Cummings doing it, like he's doing a black guy, he's doing a dumb guy, he's doing a crazy guy, he's doing Don Knotts as the scary guy, as the scared minesweeper guy. It's literally just a Don Knotts impression. I'm not joking. And then they milk those games for a while, and then eventually, but like the games started going like downhill. The cutscenes, fantastic. Love them. I honestly would still watch them as like a cartoon to this day. I watched it more than I played it as a kid. But the games themselves, not very good. The platforming was whatever, and the shooting mechanics were, kind of archaic even for the time, I think. On the way out, though, they were not good. They were not good games. On the way out, however, there was also a helicopter game, Air Attack. That was good. That was a good game, Air Attack, because it was like arcadey and it's like helicopter, fast-paced, breezy action. Works. Very much works. One of the last games that they did, two of the last games that they did, was Army Men RTS. That was the name of it. And it was a full 3D, 3D-ish game. And you played as the squad, Sarge's squad. And it was a send-up of a bunch of war movies, especially Heart of Darkness. Apocalypse Now. Which is
that
based
makes
off
more
of Heart of
sense.
Darkness. Yes.
Yeah.
So Jim Cummings plays Colonel Blintz, who is his head got shot off. Literally, like his head is hollow because it got shot off, and he goes crazy and he starts his own like mini empire in this suburban house. So the first level is going through the backyard. Second level is going through like the basement. Third level is going through, the bedroom and stuff. And it's really cool. You collect resources by siphoning plastic from like plastic items like chew toys, other plastic items around the house. And you get energy. Your secondary resource is energy for more advanced stuff. And you do that by siphoning electronics and batteries. And it's a really cool game. It's not the best RTS in the world, but it's fun. And it's a good starter RTS if you're not into those kinds of stuff. But then finally, to bring it back around to what we were talking about, one of the last games they put out was a very dark and gritty version of Sarge. So like it's Sarge and his whole squad dies in the opening level. All of them die. And it's him. It's basically like I think they might have even recast Jim Cummings, because instead of Jim Cummings doing his cartoony voices, it's like me and my bazooka man Griff got separated at the opening salvo. I saw them lying dead on the street. Like literally it's that. Mm-hmm. And the whole
almost like Max Payne narration.
Actually, yes. Correct. It is Max.
I actually kind of want to play this game. That sounds awesome.
It's not good, but it is extremely max pay.
I think I would appreciate it. I'm the exact type of person where it's like, if it's a bad game, but it's got weird stuff going on, I'll play it.
I want to play with you. I just want to say that whole series, vibes are great. Gameplay, garbage. Yeah.
Little correction. Heart of Darkness is a novel written by, I think it's, and it's about a riverboat going through Africa.
Yes.
Apocalypse Now is not based off of that. Apocalypse, you're thinking of the documentary Heart of Darkness, which is a making of
I was thinking
Apocalypse
of the original
Now.
book, which inspired Apocalypse Now, which inspired the Army Man game.
I don't think Apocalypse Now inspired. We should maybe quickly
I'm pretty
Google
confident it is. I'm very confident it is. They also, made a documentary called Heart of Darkness.
Oh, now I gotta Google. You'll have
to
to
be
edit
fair,
this.
to be fair though, a bunch of shit is based off of Heart of Darkness. One of the best games based off of Heart of Darkness is Spec Ops: The Line, which is another like mindfuck game set in another third-person shooter, honestly, and it's one of the greatest games of all time narratively. One of the best atmospheres.
You were right and I was wrong. I apologize.
No, it's okay because it's basically it's going into like, oh, look at these savage. It's been, I don't even know if I finished it because it was in high school, but it's a German, I think I'm not gonna say it because I don't know what I'm talking about, but it was basically going into these savage lands while also losing your goddamn mind. I believe that was the vibe of the original book, and that idea has been replicated, including Apocalypse Now, which is Martin Sheen going into the depths of this hellscape that is Vietnam under war, and you find this fucking zoned out Marlon Brando playing basically himself, and
hell yeah,
and it inspired that Army Man game to the point where Jim Cummings is doing a Marlon Brando impersonation as the bad guy.
So he's reading note cards around the room, trying to give ad-libbed performances.
If he wanted to go method, he would be doing that.
Just a quick call out. Yes, like this is very clearly Star Wars inspired, just because on page 3 they straight up used like a hologram they use in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then do you think Roder's putting the moves on Sally?
I'll tell you, that panel on page 10, the actual page 10, where it's like it's an ass shot. It's Dad looking, he's in a catatonic state, but he can still hear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Roder is embracing her, is embracing her. She wanted to be embraced at that moment. However, the way this is framed, you just got a good shot of that tight squirrel ass, man.
So do you think
like I'm not underselling it. I'm not overselling it. Sorry. It is
because
his
daughter's ass shot. Is so fine.
Yup, that is what it's framed as. It is kind of weird.
Or do you think he's crying because he's just like, really, Roder? That's who you're going to go to when Jeffrey St. John is right there? This feels like a slap in the face to Ken Penders.
Oh shit!
Right?
Oh shit!
Because Jeffrey, they make sure that Jeffrey St. John is in the room.
Yeah,
But she needs comfort, and she runs to Roder. Which, like, obviously, I was doing a bit about Roder going for Sally and whatnot. But
now that
in
you say
actuality, like, if we're like talking it out loud, like, she would rather be embraced by a close friend in this time of trouble than Jeffrey St. John. Which I personally, I think that's fantastic. I think that is the right choice. That's what should happen. And I think if Ken Penders was writing this would have gone in a different direction.
She would have gone in a different direction to Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Manny drew Roder a little more slim, a little more buff, less obese and more like toned.
His I know we've called out Roder's fingers in the past. His fingers look normal in this scene. So
yeah, because he's in the loving embrace of his princess.
Yeah. Do with that information you will.
There you go.
All right, I'm done. That was all my notes.
Here we go. Am I autistic rambling about the Army Men series?
I'm here for it, man.
Here we go. SonicQuest, the Death Egg Saga, Book 2, Poached, Part 2. The approach of the massive monolith does not go unnoticed by the guardian of the floating island, Knuckles the Echidna. By getting up a head of steam, jumping off the bank of the eternal river and fanning out his dreadlocks, he can fly up and intercept the Death Egg. He flies up to the Death Egg, but the Death Egg has other plans. The monstrous egg shoots lasers out of its eyes, hurting Knuckles. He gets knocked out of the air and falls back down to the floating island. Luckily, the Chaotix crew was there to catch him. A hatch opens up on the Death Egg, and Burrobots parachute out, landing on the island. The Burrobots fan out in all directions, looking for something. Off you go, Burrobots. Sensors indicate 2 Chaos Emeralds on the floating island. Bring me both, no matter what you have to do to destroy them. Unbeknownst to Robotnik, however, Tails, disguised as a SWAT bot, is standing right behind him, listening to his plan. We cut back to the floating island. Archimedes the Fire Ant thinks the Burrobots are looking for the 2 Chaos Emeralds on the island, one of which is keeping this island afloat, and the other is a backup that Knuckles has hidden on the island for safekeeping. Knuckles turns to the Chaotix. All right, listen up, guys. If these Burrobots dig up our emeralds, the island is doomed. I'll drop into the sea like a stone, all right? Split up, Chaotix. Hit them with everything we've got. This is for all the marbles. The crew splits up and beats up the Burrobots handedly. End of part 2. For the record, Nick was quietly laughing to himself.
It's actually like I've seen some Sonic cutscenes recently.
Okay.
And it's actually annoying hearing a voice that isn't yours as Knuckles and Robotnik. It like you've actually become the definitive voices for those 2 characters in my mind.
Ken, you were cooking with that one. You should have stuck with it.
Yeah, I'll give props to Ken every single time I think he deserves them. And Brooklyn accent for Knuckles was top tier. That was a fantastic note. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here. I mean, for me personally, the Death Egg shoots lasers out of its eyes. That's cool, I guess.
This is interesting because it's now going into the Chaotix, which makes sense because if the island is under threat, you gotta get the Chaotix involved. And I'm curious to see, this is a setup. I'm curious to see where this line, where they intersect, right? Where the 2 plot lines intersect. Return of the Burrobots.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, glad my boys are back. Are they redesigned a little bit?
They are. They're different color for sure. They don't have the cap. They don't have the baseball cap.
Their arms can articulate in a way where I feel like they couldn't before. Because before I feel like the arms were like nubs, and now they can like move the arms.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
It sounds more like a grounder situation, like scratch and grounder.
Yeah.
We've not seen in a while. I'm assuming that's just
I don't think we're ever going to see them again.
We'll probably see them again, but just as one-offs or it's separate from all. They'll get reintroduced because that was definitely more of a mandated by the cartoon, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The synergy. I will say though, the splash page of them beating up the Burrobots, which were much larger than I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to be like regular size. No, they were
actually. Out of curiosity, how does that look? Does the colors look off on your copy?
Yes, this could just be the particular scan that we're looking at.
I feel like it has to be. Yeah,
it has to be because it is like all like everyone is black, heavily contrasted.
It's missing reds, I think.
I think so too. That looks like a printing mistake or scanning mistake, probably a printing error.
Yeah.
So we'll hand wave that off. SonicQuest, the Death Egg Saga, Book 2, Poached, Part 3. We open on Sonic in the Death Egg, destroying SWAT bots left and right. Heh, I've been working my way up to the levels of this rancid robo-vessel, leaving a trail of SWAT bots in my wake. Unless I missed my guess, That should be the control room dead ahead. That's where I'll find the fat man and teach him a lesson he'll never forget. Tails is slowly backing out of the control room of the Death Egg. Sonic sees him and thinks to himself, one more swat by the trash, then it's clear sailing to old Blubber Buns. But we cut back to the floating island. The Death Egg is dropping onto the island like a bomb. The Death Egg crashes onto the island, and Robotnik uses all the power to his downward thrusters to drive the floating island into the sea. Deep within the underground power chamber, the infinite energy of the Chaos Emerald resists the prodigious weight being exerted upon the island, but just barely. My mechanical masterpiece must prevail. All systems to 150%. Override automatic shutdown codes. This island will be submerged and every living creature on it drowned. Ha ha ha! So speaks Ivo Robotnik. We go back to the Chaotix team. This is bad. The Emerald instinctively distributes its energy equally, but Robotnik's applying all the pressure to the south end. Just then, the island tips. Knuckles jumps / flies off and sees the bottom of the floating island touching the Mobian Sea. Robotnik's winning. The floating island has begun to submerge. Hundreds will die. The emeralds will be lost. It cannot be so. As guardian of the island, I must find a way to stop this atrocity, or die in the attempt. End of part 3.
To be concluded in book 3, over easy. I feel like you were going to say it, so I'll let you say it.
No, yeah, just the imagery of this giant moon, just coming down on the Mobius, kind of like Final Fantasy style with those finishers, but also like Majora's Mask style too, it's a pretty cool image. I kind of dig it,
So, you haven't played the old Sonic games. Have you seen the loading screen to Sonic and Knuckles?
I don't think I have. Should I look it up?
Yeah, quickly look it up. They're just trying. I feel like all of this setup is just.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Recreate the intro of Sonic and Knuckles.
I figured that's what it was. I figured, because as soon as I saw the Death Egg, I'm like, that's some Sonic and Knuckles, or like something in the Sonic canon that's probably coming up. We were probably just about to play. No.
Well, no, we did. Didn't we destroy the Death Egg at the end of Sonic 3?
I think you're correct. I think so, yes. And then it goes into Sonic and Knuckles, right?
Yeah. I legitimately don't remember. I guess I could quickly pull up our Let's Play to see what was the last thing that happened.
That's fine. But this is a matter of same destination, different way that we got there, right? Different reason why we're getting there.
Yep.
Yeah, because before it was the Death Egg is making land on a... Say again?
Alt history, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
But I love the idea that he's just going to try to push it into the ocean. I think that's insane. I think there's probably better plans for getting. So let's take a step back. His plan is to just dunk the island into the ocean and kill everyone on it, so that he can then undunk it and just try to find the Chaos Emeralds without anyone like trying to stop him. Right? That's his plan.
I guess so.
Why else would you dunk it in the ocean? Because you need those Chaos Emeralds. And the assumption, I think, would be as soon as you stop dunking it, that the island would go back to floating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think his plan is to submerge it for like 30 seconds to kill everyone. Or I guess like a few minutes. And the amount of control he must have in this Death Egg is insane. Undunk it, then fly away, and then send his Borobots like back on the island to grab the Chaos Emeralds or something. I think that's the plan.
Well, first of all, okay, let me say first that the idea that he is actually able to outpace the Chaos Emerald, because he wins the tug of war. He's winning the tug of war, right?
Yeah.
At worst, what should happen if So when I hear unlimited power, unending energy, I'm thinking you can't beat it.
You're bringing
right?
up what I was about to bring up. Yep.
Okay.
Keep on going.
Because like I'm thinking like, okay, if Robotnik plans to do this, the island should crack in half because he can pierce something. Right? This is probably go ahead, go off.
No,
go
well,
off, King.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's bringing up an idea of what does unlimited power mean to a floating object, right?
Yeah.
Like, can you push it? Would it have resistance? Would it cut in half? This is a bigger question than anyone I think was willing to. I mean, their answer is you can move it, which makes sense, I think, to a degree. And I don't know. Like, I legitimately don't know how I feel about this.
It's clearly they've put something on it. They've put something on it. Sorry. By that, I mean, they have put a cap. They have given us a context and a relativity to the power of this Chaos Emerald, I believe for the first time.
I think, yeah, I agree. I think what would happen that would make sense is like you would be able to like push it for a little bit, but I think it would spring right back. And I don't think the amount of power they have on the Death Egg would be enough to keep on pushing it down, right? I think you would get the wobble. It'll come down and immediately spring right back up and like fling the Death Egg, I personally think. So
that would be pretty sick. That would be really funny and really cool to see. No joke.
Yeah, and so I mean the only way this would make sense to me is if the Death Egg itself had like a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah. Okay. We will see. And maybe King Eggcorn will get involved.
I don't think he will.
You don't think he will at this point?
At this point, he needed to be introduced in this issue. If he wasn't, then I think that's not bad writing. It's just...
It's not bad writing. It's
too
just
much is happening. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree. It's not bad writing necessarily, but we were logically working backwards from, hey, Emerald's power.
Well, and so my problem here is not problem, but like my thinking was you introduced this setup with King Acorn, and now we are dealing with this side issue. I would think those two would interact, right? You introduced this issue in the main issue, and now we're doing a mini series to deal with it. But I don't think we're dealing with it in any way, shape, or form. I think we're dealing with Robotnik's Death Egg, and that is it. I mean, we'll see. They did make reference to King Acorn in this issue, so maybe he does come back. Maybe he does. Maybe he powers the island, right, or something. I don't know. But my original thought process of him absorbing the rings or something to come better, I no longer think is what's going to happen. I do like the idea of Robotnik making ring chainmail.
Yeah, I was trying to piece that one together, and it's like, okay, that's a logical conclusion. I didn't know you could break them in half.
That's the thing where it falls apart. Is I do not think you can break them to make the chainmail, but it's a cool concept.
Yeah. Who knows at this point actually? Because if he can out push the Chaos Emerald, maybe he can bring a power ring. Okay. How do you think this is going to conclude?
I need to sit and think for a second because this the direction this went really threw me for a loop, right?
They have one issue to come back to it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that I wasn't expecting the Chaotix to just be introduced, right? And then recreate the intro to Sonic and Knuckles. So they have Tails and Sonic on the bridge of the Death Egg, and they have,
and they don't know that they're on the. They're not. Don't know that they're there. That each other is there. So I think there's going to be some snafu where they fight each other.
Do you think we know there's 2 Chaos Emeralds on the island?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Knuckles will go and find the backup Chaos Emerald, put it on the altar, and supercharge the island so it's using 2 Chaos Emeralds.
And does it become the Master Emerald?
No, I don't think we're going to deal with the Master Emerald for a bit. I stand by, I think my original plan for how the Master Emerald comes about. Do you remember what I said? Enerjack comes back and absorbs all the Chaos Emeralds or something, and then they defeat him, and like in his wake is a Master Emerald.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now King Acorn is becoming a like Chaos Emerald. Maybe that's
dude.
There's
so what if many. He just turns into a Master Emerald, and now he is the Master Emerald. That'd be sick.
With how this is going, I can totally see that. That seems like a very real direction this comic would go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, now that I've said it, I feel like Knuckles has to get the backup, put it on the altar, get the island back, like push back against the Death Egg, and then. Do you think
it has to be them doing it? It has to be them doing it because it can't just be. It can't just be Sonic and Tails blow up the Death Egg and then that's it, right?
That would suck. I hope that's.
It's got to be the Chaotix involved.
I mean, why else introduce them?
Right.
Do you think after the defeat happens with Robotnik that he comes back to Robotropolis and ends up having to deal with a coup from Snively?
That would be sick, bro. That would be actually sick. In this issue, we just see Snively just relaxing, though. He's not like seizing the moment.
Maybe he seized it already. Maybe he's already in complete control.
Maybe, perhaps. So Robotnik comes back, and he's like, "Okay, get my robots ready." And Snively's like, "Nah." Hits a button, shoots down Robotnik.
That'd be cool. I hope
that would be very sick.
That'd be pretty sick.
That's when he makes his move. He's got the keys to the kingdom.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think so. If we're saying that King Acorn's not getting involved, which makes sense, or like you've got me on that path. It's not looking like that. I don't think the floating island is going to suffer permanent damage. That would be beyond maybe like they damage the mountain, but it's not gonna like crack in half or anything. And then we have like a whole saga for that. Just go back to status quo, huh? We go back to status quo and we cure. Was there any? Yeah, they're trying to find the billionth ring or like something like that.
They're just trying to find rings.
They're just trying to find rings.
Because the billionth ring is like tied to Sonic for some reason. Okay. So they're trying to find other rings to use, and then this whole snafu happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they cure King Acorn. In just one issue, though, they have all that time left to do it. Maybe they'd have to transport. Maybe they capture the Death Egg and they transport 1 billion rings to Knothole.
That's it. There it is.
Because why else would you make it a billion and then you have something this big?
I mean, maybe not 1 billion ring, but whatever.
Whatever number. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever they sucked up. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think after they destroy the Death Egg, they're like, "Oh, look at all these rings. Perfect." And then they bring it back to. You solved it.
Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. We can just skip the third. We can go straight
right?
to...
We don't even need to finish. Let's just go straight to...
right.
Fun little tidbit. Not SonicQuest number 3, but the one after that. Mike F. is guest writing. So...
Oh, shit.
Look forward to that in 2 weeks. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to say?
No, let's get out of here.
I agree. And that's the issue. Only, I should quickly apologize. I said I was going to try to do some streams turns out it's really hard when you don't have a second monitor. And
that is very difficult.
Yeah, so I was not able to. I'm already trying to think of solutions around that. So maybe in the future. And that's the issue. Only 526 left to go. I'm Nick. I stream at twitch.tv/Mojosaurus, and my personal blue sky is at Mojosaurus.
And I'm Dominic. You can find my jazz and people power adventures in Chicago at Blue Collar Jazz. Last night came back from a awesome thing in Aurora, Illinois, where they've been having a lot of tough time with ice raids, and they just had a jazz, basically music festival, where they raised $500 for the local Aurora Rapid Response Team and mutual aid group. And it was just a beautiful night where hundreds of people came out. At least 100, I should say, because they reached that number. And it's a beautiful community out in Aurora. You know, the suburbs of Chicago, particularly the far west suburbs, the far southwest suburbs, etc., far north suburbs. We don't think about that, but Chicago, literally millions of people live in Chicagoland, the greater Chicagoland area, beyond the city and beyond Cook County. So, and you know, these are people too. So that it was really cool to see that community come out. Thank you to them for inviting me to cover the event. It's a really good time.
If we followed Houston rules, all those places would be Chicago, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Houston it's just sprawl. So it's the only reason why it's so big is because, like, they can claim it's a city because it's like you're 45 minutes from the central area and they still call it Houston. And I'm like, man, I was staying in a place that was pretty much Aurora when I was in Houston. And they're like, yeah. It's so fucking dumb. Sorry, I don't need to get another Houston rant.
You can. It's okay. I'll allow it.
We have you can follow us on socials at Gotta Talk Fast. TikTok is Gotta Talk Faster. We also have a video version of the podcast where you can follow along with panels and watch our handsome faces. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, when life keeps going fast, you gotta talk fast and just get through it. I love you.
Gotta talk.
Gotta Talk Fast was written by Nick Folkerts and edited by Dominic Guanzon. Intro and outro themes recorded by Dominic Guanzon. Gotta Go Fast originally composed by Norman J. Grossfeld, Joseph Garrity, and Russell Velasquez.
Gotta talk. 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 Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk. Fast. Gotta talk.